Welcome to the, the continuation of the Canby City Council regular meeting for June 18th, 2014. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for a moment. We've had, in the last couple of weeks, a number of military reservists get shipped off to assignments overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq, so please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. If we'll just take a moment and remember them and keep their families in mind over the next 18 to 24 months, that many of these men and women will be gone. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Great. Thank you. We have a very full agenda this evening. As I said, this is a continuation. We started this evening with a work session to discuss some building issues and concerns and whatnot, so we're continuing on. So the first thing on the agenda is the Measure 3-436 proclamation. So Measure 3-436 election results. Whereas the City of Canby, County of Clackamas, Oregon, placed a measure on the primary election ballot on May 20th, 2014 to consider the following measure. Measure number 3-436. Should the Canby Urban Renewal Agency proceed with construction of a civic center consisting of city offices and a library? Whereas the Clackamas County Elections Department offers the following as an official count of votes for the primary election on May 20th, 2014. Yes votes were 1,980. No votes were 852. Blank, 0. Other votes, 1. Undervotes, 113. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, Mayor of the City of Canby, Oregon, do hereby proclaim the foregoing to be a true and accurate accounting as presented by the Clackamas County Election Division dated June 9th, 2014, dated this day, 18th day of June 2014. I want to, I'm not sure if we're really officially handing this to anyone other than ourselves for doing that, but for those that have been following our Civic Center conversation, the council and decided to put as a referral out to the voters the Civic Center project. And as you can tell by the numbers, almost 2 to 1 in terms of in favor of going ahead with that project. So I think this is the first time a city has actually put out in the state of Oregon a referral for urban renewal project in the state of Oregon. So I commend the council and all those involved that got out there to support this, and we had a lot of help from Friends of the Library and the library board and a number of people in the community. So thank you for that, and we'll frame that and hang it somewhere in City Hall or the new civic building. There we go. So thank you all on that. Our second proclamation is the Fill the Boot Day. Whereas Canby Fire District number 62 has been working with the Muscular Dystrophy Association in their fight against neuromuscular disease, and whereas Fill the Boot is an opportunity for Oregon firefighters to ask community members to drop donations into their fire boots to help local families served by MDA in the state. This year marks the 60th anniversary of this partnership between firefighters and MDA in the fight against muscle wasting diseases. And whereas Canby Fire District number 62 has spent many hours collecting money on the streets for this campaign, and whereas firefighters locally and nationally are the largest contributors to the MDA, Canby firefighters collected $7,560 in 2013 to help in the fight against the 43 different types of neuromuscular diseases. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Canby, do hereby proclaim Saturday, July 26th, so mark it on your calendar, as Canby Fire District number 62 Fill the Boot Day for the City of Canby, given under my hand this 18th day of June 2014. I think we have one of Canby's finest here. Thank you. You want to introduce yourself and people know about it?
My name's Brandon McFarland, and I've been a volunteer for about 8 years with Canby Fire. And The fire department has been involved with MDA for 18 years, and so each July on a marked day, we sit there in the middle of the street there at 99E and Grant, and with a boot in hand and ask for donations. It's a proud moment to be part of the MDA and benefit those who are in need of that. So I thank you. And thanks again.
Thank you for doing that. All right, next on the agenda, communications at this point? Nope, okay. First opportunity for citizen input. If there's something not on the agenda that you want to address the city council about, please fill out a yellow card like this one, and you can have an opportunity to tell us your 2 cents, maybe even 3. All right, I've got one that will make part of our budget conversation here in a little bit. Moving on to mayor's business. Like I said, this evening we just had a conversation on, different thing, building conversation. With the passage of the referral, we are looking at next steps in terms of the buildings that'll be impacted here downtown in terms of, as we get that project moving and going and done, we will potentially be vacating a number of additional buildings, much like the old PD. I had a conversation with Amanda, and staff will be bringing recommendations to us on that topic here in August, whether that be, selling which ones, what, and when, and then, if we need to do some possible consolidation. I know that's a possible conversation piece that, as we've had some staffing changes, what that will mean, and if we need to do some reno on a building to possibly allow for consolidation a little bit sooner than that. So that's coming in August, so you guys can be aware of that. Have been out doing a couple of business tours with Renata. We've visited Pioneer Pump, Kendall Floral, and just talking with them about some just business concerns of theirs. The top of the concern list is labor needs. Almost all of them that we've been talking to have been having a number of positions that they've not been able to fill due to, one, people either not applying or not finding qualified workers. And so Renata has been very good about getting back to them on options at the county and what can be done to help them out. A couple of conversations also that we've been having has been regarding amenities within the city. What other pieces would be more attractive in terms of as an employer or just being able to bring and do business here. And I know that Councilor Parker has brought up, I think in a couple of conversations, that, and this actually came up, was the issue of a hotel here in Canby. I know that we did a study, Greg, 2000?
Yeah, and it was a flawed study. It was a statistical study based upon a national model that didn't take into account the thousands of people that come to the county fair. And then it was followed up subsequently by a county study, which used the bad study information anyway. So the two studies that we have on the table both aren't valid. But I think it's a reasonable time, whether it's in the public or private sector right now, to be taking a look at the viability of a hotel. I was a volunteer this past week at the Hairfest kickoff, and dozens of people from Portland said, "Where can I stay in Canby?"
Yeah.
And I know there's a need, and we just need to keep banging the drum and trying to get a developer to come in here and do that and see what we can do to help entice it.
Yeah, so on that note, because, those surveys, there's been a little bit of a conversation piece along that lines, I think, as Councilor Parker has mentioned, looking at that, they looked at vacancy rates in Wilsonville, Urban City and whatnot, and so a lot of the business we were talking about said that they would love to be able to have people that they bring in stay in Canby. Unfortunately, they're pushing to Wilsonville or Lake Oswego and whatnot, and so what Renata and I were talking about was possibly just doing a circling back with after these tours are done and even working with Lori at the event center to find out, okay, what are those events or how many people are you bringing in for meetings, etc. We were talking with one of the business presidents of one of the companies, and he was talking about we bring in twice a year, we bring in everyone from international and whatnot to meet, and those are usually a 3-4 day meeting that we have here. We'd like to have it, we have the meeting here at our business, but we're trucking them from other places, and so trying to get them to line out each of those businesses. Well, how often are you doing that? How many people is that? How many days is that? To find out, is that, how do we reach a critical mass that it might be of interest to, a private investor to come in and pull that trigger. So, very good conversation, and I know that that's a conversation that Councilor Parker's brought up in the past. On Tuesday, we took, I was involved in the fire district chief interviews, and we had 4 very good candidates that I think that Prothman, who we're using for the city manager search, brought in, and I believe they're really close to a decision. I think there's a decision and offer probably pretty imminent, but some really good candidates, so that's another leadership role that in our city that will get filled. I know that the school district has also filled the superintendent role temporarily, at least with an interim while they do their process. So looking at our process, it was neat to see there how Prothman has things laid out in that, and I think that we'll probably follow a similar format, Amanda, with that. And so one of the things that they had 3 panel interviews. There was the fire board, citizens, and then there was the firefighters and I think EMTs, and then a 4th board was their tour of Canby with Chief Todd Gary. My question, Amanda, is I think we'll probably have a similar panel type setup in that regards.
Yeah, generally there's stakeholders, staff, and other general citizens.
Okay. I guess my question is, if we're doing a stakeholder or citizen panel, have we reached out to anybody yet on that for that positions or seats? To be on
Not
that?
yet, because we haven't secured the exact date yet,
Okay.
and we also don't know how many candidates there will be for a timeline. And once we have that information, after you've had the initial review with Prothman, and we know how many finalists we have, they'll give us the dates and times, and we'll send out invitations to those people.
Do you want a list of people?
Yes.
Okay. Council objective number 1, and those of you watching at home or here this evening, if you want to be involved, find one of us, let us know, and we'll pass that on to Amanda to pass on to Prothman, or if there's people that we want to see involved in that. The other piece, there was one of the things that the citizen group that I was involved in that we thought might have been helpful, and I don't know if this is something that the Prothman group would be interested in, or if it's even something that's a possibility, but we were talking that it would be nice to have had a list of qualifications that the fire board was looking for, so that as they were interviewing, they could try to draw those pieces out in that. And I know that our description has a little bit of that, kind of what we're looking for, but I don't know if that's something that Prothman would be in favor of having or getting that out there. I don't know if that's something that we can maybe follow up with them on and see if that would be, I was just trying to think of like 4 or 5 or things that we would really like to see, make sure we're drawn out in the interview process.
I think that he did that when he had the meetings here with the stakeholders where they invited the citizens and gathered feedback from the employees.
Bless you. Thank you.
But if there are other specifics that you'd like to see, I'm sure that it would be a good idea to get a list to him prior to those interviews and prior to the review of all the candidates.
Okay. Thanks, Amanda. A couple other things. This week is the Allegro Dance Studio recital, and the illustrious council president, Tim Dale, will be performing with his daughter.
His
I'm
dancing debut.
standing there as your daughter will.
That's right. She'll be doing all the hard work.
So if you don't have your tickets, get them.
I have one.
I believe Darren Monin might have a daughter and just a couple of dances there. But it's a great event, very well organized, very well put on, and over the years, my daughter's been involved, and I know Councilor Parker's daughter's been involved, and I'm sure she'll be going out in grand fashion.
It's your finale.
Yeah, this year. And finally, the Sequoia Bridge is open.
Yay.
That is not a light rail bridge, that is an actual car bridge. I was at a soccer event this past fall and somebody was convinced it was light rail. It is not, it is a bridge for cars. It goes over train tracks. Heavy rail, right, it goes over heavy rail. So it is open, it is a quick shoot down Sequoia to get to the southeast part of town, so, and it is a beautiful sight to be on top and watch the sunrise, so if you have the opportunity to do that, I recommend you do
As a
it.
pedestrian, would be preferred.
As a pedestrian, yes. Don't stop your car in the middle, pull over and get out. Thank you, Councilor Hensley, for that. All right, so that concludes my business, and we'll go on to liaison reports there with Councilor Rocha.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also attended the meet and greet Monday night, Candy Fire, to meet the candidates, had some good conversations with them, able to ask some good questions. It's my understanding that they have made an offer to a candidate, and once that process is complete, they will inform the public. So, and I was not able to make the Parks and Rec meeting last night, and I see Matilda here. I'm hoping she brought truffles. So, did you bring truffles tonight?
They're all gone.
All right, sorry. That's all I have.
Should've gone.
Thank you, I should have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I likewise attended the Canby Fire Meet the Candidates reception on Monday night and the Sequoia Park Bridge opening. Friday, I attended the Traffic Safety Commission meeting, but I will let the official liaison do the report on that. And First Friday was a great success, I think. I saw a lot of folks walking around downtown. We had a beautiful day, so that was perfect. And Pappy's participated for what I believe was his first time,
yeah.
and with a car show, so that was a great deal of fun. My family enjoyed it very much. On the school board front, as the mayor mentioned, there is an interim superintendent in place. His name is Scott Goodall. He comes to us from Portland Public Schools. And on C4, I will be reporting on this. I went to the road funding forum. It was a presentation on the county's road maintenance needs, and other jurisdictions spoke as well about what their needs were and their ideas for meeting those needs with ideas for funding those projects. Well, Washington County has put a measure on the ballot. You'll see if you live in Washington County for November, $30 vehicle registration fee to try and meet their $12.8 million requirement. Our county has a goal of $15 million, and that would be to cover 1,400 miles of county-owned road, and that's just the county-owned. There's 806 miles of city-owned roads and 222 miles of state-owned roads, but the county owns 1,400 miles, 1,900 manholes, 2,400 miles of gravel, 700 miles of striping, 180 bridges, 8,100 culverts, 9,300 catch basins, 26,900 traffic signs, and 111,000 linear feet of guardrail. So they need about $15 million for funding maintenance on those items. Revenue options do include a vehicle registration fee, a possible road district, gas tax, transportation utility fee, or a combination of those to make a program to meet that need. They decided, though, the Board of County Commissioners decided they will not be going out for a vote this November. They did do an outreach and a survey that identified the top 5 citizen priorities, and road maintenance was third on that list. However, 69% of the folks who participated in the survey said that they thought the roads were in good condition. So they feel that there's more education to take place, so that public outreach will continue, and the thought of something going out to a vote will probably happen maybe next year. And finally, the 41st Infantry Brigade is in Texas. They will be going to Afghanistan in the coming weeks. So again, prayers of safety. Thank you for your service. Godspeed. That is all.
Mr. Coleman, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I attended the first Friday, brought our Mustang down to the car show at Pappy's. It was a lot of fun. That really added a lot to that event. And there was an awful lot of people downtown, and I think everyone was having fun. I also attended the Sequoia Bridge opening, And want to thank all the cars that came out and all the people that came out. That was a fun event, and I think a real important link to the industrial park. On the library board front, they are very excited about the library civic project, and going forward, they want the library board, the library foundation, and the Friends of the Library to work a lot closer together for better communication. And John Smith, an applicant to the library board, we're very excited to have him on board. Our traffic safety group, I'd like to thank Jerry Melzine and Amanda very much, and all our traffic safety people and all the councilors and mayor that have come to our meetings. Through a lot of hard work, we finally got approval to reduce the speed on Territorial from 35 to 30 miles an hour. And thanks to Jerry, I think all the signs are up, and appreciate that very much. Our next meeting will be July 11th at the Burgerville, and we're, because the first Friday of July is July 4th, and so we're going to meet over there to discuss future sidewalk for safety by the high school. Also, I just wanted to point out there was a letter to the editor regarding stop signs as a traffic calming on Territorial, and just want everyone to know that, we look into all of those things. We get the police involved and really want their input, and we vote on all of these issues. And one of the challenges with having a four-way stop at Redwood, for example, is the intersection is kind of off-center. It's not perfectly square, which creates really some problems there. And so we hope that this piece of medication is enough to solve the problem, but in the event it's not, we do have other tools in the toolbox. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Council President Dale.
All righty. Mr. Mayor, I likewise attended the Sequoia Overpass opening. I'd like to thank Renata for arranging a great celebration, and Jerry Nelzine and our Public Works Department for getting everything looking so great and doing a very quick job of doing so. Thank you, Jerry. It was great. And also along Southeast 13th, all the traffic mitigation improvements you've put in, it's very good. Thank you. Things are great, and people are slowing down for the signs, and the new crosswalk at Ponderosa is great for the children. So thank you. I'm sure appreciate it. Attended a tour of the Blue Heron paper mill in Willamette Falls in Oregon City last Friday. Thanks to Councilor Hensley for arranging that. Very interesting. I've had a step-grandfather and a great-uncle spend their whole career at that mill, but it's really hard to get past the front gates, and it was quite amazing to go through there and see all that Metro and Oregon City are thinking about doing. They have a buyer for the property who's interested in making it a really great place in coming years as a commercial office and open spaces. The highlight of the tour, I have to admit, was getting out and standing on the edge of the falls. That was impressive. Just all the wind and the noise and getting wet, it's quite the tour. So thank you, Tracy, for arranging that. Likewise attended the Canby Fire Department candidate meet and greet, and on the Canby utility front, they are now moving through their budget process and have had their preliminary reviews, and we'll be wrapping that up soon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
I'm good this week, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Councilor Renner.
I had the pleasure also of attending the meet and greet at the fire department and got to talk with candidates, and was very impressed with each one of them. Know that we have some very qualified men and look forward to the best one being chosen. Looking forward to them serving here in Canby and being able to add to the history, the good history of our fire department and all that they've been able to accomplish and continue to do here in our community that's so noteworthy. Just a side note, Clint brought up about Territorial, and I would advise people when they get within a quarter mile of the train tracks headed out to 99, that just before you hit that last curve, there is a 35-mile-an-hour sign. that's still there.
Yeah, I think Jerry's.
So, I mean, that'll be coming down, no doubt, soon, but it, you know, if you're not, okay, you're driving along 30 and all of a sudden you turn out and it's 35, and so just a side note there. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your reports? We'll move into the, accepting the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the minutes of the June 4th, 2014 City Council regular meeting, the appointment of John Smith to the Library Board for a term to expire on June 30th, 2018, and reappointment of Liz Bells-Templeman to the Bike and Pedestrian Committee for a term to expire on June 30th, 2017.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Motion made by Counselor Dale and seconded by Counselor Rocha to approve the consent agenda, which include the minutes of the June 4th, 2014 City Council regular meeting, appointment of John Smith to the Library Board for a term to expire on June 30th, 2018, and reappointment of Liz Bells-Templeman to the Bike and Pedestrian Committee for a term to expire on June 30th, 2017. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries 6-0. I'd like to thank John Smith and Liz Bells-Templeman for getting on the committee and being involved in that. We really appreciate that. That helps us out tremendously. Next on the agenda is the public hearings tonight. We have a couple. First up is a noise variance application for Hairfest LLC on July 19th and July 20th, and then again on August 16th and August 17th. So we will, we've got, and then state revenue sharing, and then the budget approval. So we'll open up the, let me read the hearing format this evening regarding the noise variance. The matter presently before the hearing body requires a public hearing. All interested persons in attendance shall be heard on the matter. If you wish to testify on this matter, please fill out a yellow comment card and give to the city recorder at the appropriate time. Please step forward to the microphone, state your name and interest in the matter. Those people that are interested in testifying as either proponents or opponents, please indicate your desire to speak by raising your hand at this time. That's you, Darren. Raise your hand. For longer presentations, proponents and opponents may buy time from one another. In so doing, those either in favor or opposed may allocate their time to a spokesperson who will represent the entire group. All questions must be directed through the mayor. Any evidence to be considered must be submitted to the hearing body for public access. All written testimony received both for and against shall be summarized by staff and presented briefly to the hearing body during the staff report. The public hearing for this and the others will be conducted as follows. There will be a staff report, questions if any by the hearing body. Then I will open up the public hearing for testimony. We will hear from the proponents that will have no more than 3 minutes. Opponents will also have 3 minutes. We'll close the public testimony. We'll have questions if any by the hearing body, and then discussion by the hearing body. A decision shall be made by the hearing body at the close of the hearing, or the matter will be continued to a date certain in the future, and this will be the only notice of that date you will receive. Does anyone have any questions about the procedure for the hearings this evening? Great. So our first one this evening is the noise variance application.
We have received a noise variance application from Hairfest LLC, and this is for noise variances on July 19th, 20th, and August 16th and 17th for a music festival. You've granted similar noise variances the last few summers, and we've received no complaints at City Hall or the police department, and the police chief has signed off on the application.
Okay. Any questions for staff? All right. Well, we will open up the hearing on the noise variance application. Is there anybody that'd like to speak for the event? Okay, seeing none. Anyone that wants to speak against these noise variants for these dates? All right. Seeing none, we will close the public testimony. Any questions or comments by the hearing body at this time? No? Great. Discussion?
I'll mention something, that this is a terrific economic development piece.
Thank you, sir.
It brings in thousands of people, primarily from Portland. I've attended several of these, and these are the people that we want. These are outsiders who come here to spend some money. Now we just need to monetize them by keeping them overnight. And I salute the Wild Hare for, on their own initiative, developing a co-op with a property owner to be able to have some overnight camping at a place. So they're not going to be staying downtown at a hotel, but we will at least be able to get a couple of them that might come by in the morning for some breakfast and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was at an event this weekend and talked to 3 people that once they found out I was from Canby were wondering if I was attending Hairfest, because they were planning on not only attending one day, but camping at their friends, in their friend's backyard, so they could go to the second day.
Yeah.
So it's a tremendous lineup of 80s cover bands, and I highly recommend going. So it's a great event for sure.
It's right up my alley, but it's always scheduled when I do something else. I told Sean we have to schedule vacation around Hairfest next year, so I
That's
can
right.
go. Mr. Mayor, I move to grant noise variances to Hairfest LLC on July 19th, 2014, from 4 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., and July 20th, 2014, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., August 16th, 2014, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., and August 17th, 2014, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. for music festivals located at 1190 Southwest 1st Avenue.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you both. Motion's been made by Councilor Hensley and seconded by Councilor Parker to approve the noise variances application to Hairfest LLC for the dates of July 19th, 2014, from 4 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., July 20th, 2014, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., August 16th, 2014, from 8 p.m. until 2 a.m., and August 17th, 2014, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. for music festivals located at 1190 Southwest 1st Avenue. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That- Abstentions? No? Okay. Passes 6-0. Our second public hearing is on the state revenue sharing funds. I will just not reread the public hearing format, but we will move into, again, the same format of, we'll do the staff report. And I believe we have Haley Fish, our finance director.
Yes, so in accordance with Oregon Revised Statute 221.770, we're required to have a public hearing on the use of straight shared revenue funds as proposed in the budget, and we've proposed, as consistent with prior years, to use them for general purposes in the general fund. And we have estimated that we will receive approximately $149,600 in the coming year.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the finance director right now? No? All right. Well, I will open up the public hearing for testimony. Any proponents on us accepting state revenue sharing? Okay, seeing none. Any opponents to that? Glad to see none. We'll close that. Any questions for Haley at all on that one? Great. Discussion? All right. Motion, please.
Doesn't that come later?
Well, it's later.
It's a resolution.
Thank you. Next one is the 2014-15 fiscal year budget is approved by the Budget Committee. Staff report on this one.
Again, as required by state law, we are required to have a public hearing on the budget as approved by the Budget Committee, which was published in the newspaper as required last Wednesday in the format of the LB1s.
Great, thank you. Any initial questions right now for Haley at all? No? Okay. We'll open the public hearing for testimony. Any proponents on the approval of the budget at this point? Okay. Any opponents that would like to address us on the budget? I have a yellow card here from, is it Mark? It is Treebosser?
It's Mark Treebosser, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Last night, the Park and Recreation Advisory Board met, and we had a lot of discussion concerning the budget, and we would like to read the following letter into the record. Dear Mr. Mayor and City Council, the Park and Recreation Advisory Board at our monthly meeting discussed the proposed budget for park maintenance and the impacts on our city parks. With the proposed full-time equivalent of 4.0, it will be impossible to maintain all the city properties to the level that the community has been accustomed to. The proposed budget does not appear to align with the community vision. Emptying garbage cans, cleaning restrooms, and mowing established park will exceed staffing to maintain the National Recreation and Park Association mode 3 levels of maintenance. The Park and Recreation Advisory Board would recommend that unless additional funding can be found for park maintenance, that the following action be taken. Continue to maintain Wade Park, Maple Street Park, Community Park, and Legacy Park close to our current standards, which is an adjusted Mode 3. All other parks will not be maintained. Restrooms would be locked, garbage cans removed, and irrigation systems turned off, and thus there would be no mowing. Other city properties currently maintained by the park maintenance staff, including City Hall, the Adult Center, Police Department, Swim Center, public workshops, and other properties will no longer be maintained by the park maintenance staff. Reducing maintenance to Mode 4 would allow addition of either Locust Street Park or Northwood Estates Park to the 4 previously mentioned parks. Until a more stable source of funding for parks is identified, we also recommend that there be no new amenities or expansion of current parks, including items identified in the city visioning process. The community's input and support of previous visioning processes and park master plans should be evidence alone to restore funding to the Parks Department. We are confident that the Budget Committee and City Council have the ability and tools to make this happen. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board would very much like to discuss this proposal with the city, and that's sincerely the Canby Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Any other opponents at this point? Okay. I will close that our portion here and the public hearing on that. Questions right now from the hearing body? No? Okay. For me, it was a very tough budget piece for us this year. And I appreciate you all coming and making that statement. I really do. It shows that there's never been a doubt that there's a lack of passion in parks for our city, and growing that. That's a big and important piece for us. It was a decision not taken lightly, and I know that there are pieces that we're looking at and trying to maintain what we can. I appreciate you coming with recommendations on how to keep it functioning and be successful in the areas that we can. I know that Amanda and Haley and staff will be looking at that, as well as Matilda, in the coming weeks and months on how we can do that. And I know that we've got Jeff and Ben here from our Parks team. They put a lot of time and effort into coming to us with recommendations, and we're trying to do what we can to protect that piece of it. We absolutely are. There will be more conversation. Funding is a big topic of conversation. It came up during the budget meeting in terms of what are options, what can we be looking at, and so please know that will be an ongoing conversation, because it is an important part of our community. So again, thank you very much for coming and making those comments. Any other discussion pieces?
Well, I agree with you. I think that parks are an important part of not just livability, but our prosperity. And I'm going to try and lead a discussion on whether there's a capacity within the voters in Canby to support additional funding of a city, not the district, but of dedicated funding for the Parks District so that we don't have the situation in lean years where the Park District takes it on the chin. So I don't know how much support is out there, but I'm willing to go out and ask people if you love your parks enough to pay for them.
Thank you, Councilor Parker. Okay, that concludes our public hearing piece this evening. We'll move into resolutions and ordinances.
The first item you have is Resolution 1191. This is closing the Parks Development Fund and Street Sewer Fund and creating the System Development SDC Fund.
Haley.
Oh, she's never come
And
to
she's
it.
back.
I think Ms. Fish will be camped out in that chair for the next little bit.
So the first resolution in front of you is a resolution to close the Parks Development Fund, the Street Reserve Fund, and creating a System Development Charge Fund. These were all, concepts were all presented through the budget process and are consistent with the budget that is also on the agenda in a later resolution for adoption. Basically, for both efficiency and transparency pieces, as well as maintaining and controlling the expenditure of the restricted funds related to the System Development Charge Improvement fees, we have made these proposals.
All right. Any questions or comments for Haley at all? Okay. I'll take a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt Resolution 1191, resolution closing the Parks Development Fund and Street Reserve Fund and creating a System Development Charge SDC Fund.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Councilor Ryder, seconded by Councilor Rocha to approve Resolution 1191, a resolution closing the Parks Development Fund and the Street Reserve Fund and creating the System Development Charge, or SDC Fund. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 6-0.
The next item is Resolution 1192. This is verifying the city has met requirements to receive state shared revenue money.
So again, as required by Oregon revised statutes, we're required to verify to the state annually that we meet the requirements to receive cigarette, gas, and liquor taxes, or our share of them from the state. You're required to provide at least 4 of various services, and we provide 5 of the specified services, so we more than meet the qualifications. And we estimate that we would receive $19,900 for cigarette taxes, $226,000 in liquor taxes, and $910,500 in gas taxes from the state in the coming year.
Great. Thank you, Haley. Any questions for Haley on this one? No? All right. I'll take a motion to accept our revenue sharing.
Mr. Mayor, I recommend we adopt Resolution 1192, a measure verifying the city has met requirements to receive state shared revenue money.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Coleman, seconded by Councilor Hensley to approve Resolution 1192, verifying the city has met requirements to receive state shared revenue money. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes 6-0.
The next resolution is Resolution 1193. This is adopting the budget, making appropriations, and imposing and categorizing tax for the 2014-2015 fiscal year.
So the resolution in front of you is proposing that you adopt the budget as approved by the Budget Committee with a minor amendment of, I think, $390 or something along those lines. I put in here, for a topographical error that we made in our summary that was approved by the committee in the forfeiture funds. But other than that, I'm not proposing any changes to the budget as approved by the Budget Committee.
All right. Any questions for Haley at all? Any comments? No? Before I ask for the motion, I'll just say thank you to you and Amanda and the rest of the city staff. I know that it's been a challenging couple of months with having to talk about how do we shore up our budget and the things that we need to do. This is the first time also, I think, in a couple of years that the council had a unanimous passage of the budget. In years past, it's not been as, well, it's been divided. Anyways, I just thank you guys. It's not easy. It's not to make those decisions and to carry on. Staff is going to have a lot more work to do in the coming months, and we are here to help. We don't want to be a hindrance, and at any time, please feel free to tell us to back off, and we will. So I just appreciate the hard work, and hopefully we'll see some more engagement from our other boards as well, as we've seen from the Park and Rec Board on being solutions-oriented and not just, asking for more money on how we get it done, but actually let's come with some possible ideas on what we can do to sustain it and grow it back. That'll be the big piece, is how do we generate the revenue to make it happen? And we'll be having those conversations undoubtedly in the coming months. So thank you to staff. I will take a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move we pass Resolution 1193, a resolution adopting the budget, making appropriations, and imposing and categorizing tax for the 2014-2015 fiscal year.
And I'd like to second that.
Thank you both. Motion's been made by Councilor Hensley and seconded by Councilor Parker to approve a resolution adopting, Resolution 1193, a resolution adopting the budget, making appropriations, and imposing and categorizing taxes for the 2014-2015 fiscal year. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 6-0.
Next item is Resolution 1194. This is adopting the supplemental budget for the 2013-2014 fiscal year.
Coming around to last year's budget and wrapping things up, there's just a few things that we need to update to keep us in line as we come to the end of the year. Within the general, I'm going to just kind of go through them so that you guys have an outline. They're included in the staff report, but just so the people watching know what's being proposed. There's additional money in the general fund related to separation agreements that already were passed, or that already occurred in the current year, and that is being offset by the separation and retirement reserve that we set up this year. We've also are proposing $60,000 for estimated separation expenses and severance packages related to the eliminations proposed through the budget process. And we're proposing that those actually be funded through contingency to maintain as their one-time expectations to maintain the separation reserve intact. The police services budget is also being increased for unexpected overtime expenses that occurred due to unexpected activity in the current year. And planning and materials and services increased due to unexpected activity in that fund. We had increased fees that offset the cost, so net effect is 0. The street fund, we had more revenue than expected, and so there transfers to the street reserve fund, which will then end up being closed back in. But just administratively, in the current year, the transfers are based off a percentage of revenue, and we had more revenue than expected, so those transfers out are higher. The tech services fund has a small increase in personal services due to changes in personnel compensation throughout the year. The swim center levy personal services is being increased to account for unanticipated activity in June due to the change in schedule for the summer. And the sewer combined fund, again, had an increase in revenue, and their transfers for the in lieu fee to the general fund are based off a percentage of revenues. Therefore, that transfer needs to be increased to allow for the necessary transfer.
Great. Thank you, Haley. Any comments or questions for Haley at this time?
Yeah, I have a comment of having worked for a city and for a county at this point in the budget process, and this is one of the shortest exception lists that I've heard in my career. So it shows a well-managed budget. When I was with the county, this report would go on for many minutes on things that had to be fixed at the end. So thanks, Haley, and thanks, Amanda.
Good job. Motion, please.
I move that we adopt Resolution 1194, adopting supplemental budget for 2013-2014 fiscal year.
All right, thank you, sir. A second, please.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Ryder and seconded by Counselor Dale to approve Resolution 1194, adopting supplemental budget for the 2013-2014 fiscal year. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 6-0.
Next item we have is Resolution 1195. This is declaring the city's election to receive state revenue for the 2014-2015 fiscal year.
So then, again, as required by Oregon revised statutes, the state asked that we asked them to give us our share of the revenue that we're allowed. We held the public hearing and had no one in opposition, so I propose that we adopt the resolution asking the city, or the state, to give us our share, which is estimated to be $149,600 in the coming year.
All right. Questions or comments? All right, a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move we pass Resolution 1195, a resolution declaring the city's election to receive state revenue for fiscal year 2014-2015.
Thank you. Second. Motion's been made by Counselor Hensley and seconded by Counselor Coleman to approve Resolution 1195, declaring city's election to receive state revenue for the 2014-2015 fiscal year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 6-0.
Okay, the next item is Ordinance 1402. This is before you for second reading. This is amending Chapter 13.12.065 of the Canby Municipal Code regarding in lieu of franchise fee for the use of city-owned right-of-ways for sewer service.
All right, so this was again, as Kim said, is up for second reading, so we're just had some text cleanup and making some changes to this process. Any follow-up questions or thoughts on it? No? All right, I will take a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move for ordinance number 1402, an ordinance amending Chapter 13.12.065 of the Canby Municipal Code regarding an in lieu of franchise fee for the use of city-owned right-of-ways for sewer service.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Dale and seconded by Counselor Hensley to approve ordinance 1402, amending Chapter 13.12.065 of the Canby Municipal Code regarding in lieu of franchise fee for the use of city-owned rights-of-ways for sewer service. And a roll call vote.
Counselor Rocha?
Yes.
Counselor Hensley?
Yes.
Counselor Coleman?
Yes.
Counselor Dale?
Aye.
Counselor Parker?
Yes.
And Counselor Ryder?
Aye.
Passes 6-0. Thank you.
The last one we have is Ordinance 1403. This is authorizing a contract with Owen Equipment for the purchase of one 2014 Vector truck for the Canby Collections Department. And Jerry Nelson is here if you have questions.
Jerry, would you like to come up and tell us about your fabulous Vector truck that you want?
Yeah, I'm actually nervous. We're finally doing this, huh? I've had it long enough.
How many years have we put this off?
Well, we're just right if we order it here this year, so
Okay.
no worries. Yeah, no, it's going to be a urea burner, so we missed that, which is good. It's good for the environment. If we order it now, we'll be lucky to have it by right now next year. So you guys seen our Vector truck at the Public Works Day last year, and it still looks good, works good. We put a clutch in it. We just did about $40,000 worth of work to the fan on it, so it'll last us until we get something like this going. It's probably something we should look for getting ordered and stuff like that. If we start doing heavy use with the Vector we have right now, it'll probably start taking a lot more maintenance. I talked to Fleet Services, he's recommending we update it. I know Council Ayers told me don't ask, but I'm asking you guys if you guys, hopefully we can do this. So if you have any questions for me on this, let me know. I'm here right now, so.
Since we have a larger than usual viewing audience here tonight, as well as probably at home, what is the Vector truck for and what does it do?
Jetting sewer lines, main lines, cleaning catch basins, dry wells, locating utilities. Pretty much it goes out almost every day, whether it gets used or not. It's kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like a fire truck for us. But very important tool. Yeah. The other thing that I was going to let you know, talking about that, the truck that we currently have, like I said, was in good shape. I'd like to hold on to it. This truck that we're buying now, I feel sorry for Owen Equipment because I've been beating them up for how many years now on this. So we got I don't know if it's a good deal, but we got a deal. It's one of these things like roll-up windows versus electric windows. Everything's electric on this thing, and safety components, electric scales, all that stuff. So I think it'd be wise to hold on to the old truck until we get all the bugs worked out of this thing, because I know there's going to be bugs for probably a year after we get it.
Okay.
So,
Trust your judgment call on that one.
yeah, talking to Fleet, talking to all the past managers we have now, everyone sleeps better when we have the Vector truck running, and if we have another one while we're getting the bugs worked out of this, we're all going to be happier.
Great.
So I want to thank Haley and Amanda and Joe and Kim and everyone that helped get to here right now, so.
Well, it's been a couple years in the process, so.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
A lot of money.
But it again, like you said, it's out every day.
Yep.
And it's put to use, so. Great. Yes, sir.
I just have an operational question there about, you say ordering it now and we'll get it next year. Do they make them to order, or is there a backlog on these things?
Yeah, there really is, and I've heard, oh my gosh, he's told me how many people are wanting them and all this stuff. Last year when it's a good question, because last year when I was going to try to push this through, he said there was a 2-year waiting period, so here I waited a year and I'm ordering it now. Am I going to get it sooner? I don't know. I don't know if it's a sales pitch or what, but I know that I've been I waited almost a year and a half to go see the one that I wanted from City of Bend, and they just got it in. So there's...
Is it just one company that makes them?
There's several companies that have them, but work with the deep, the wet wells we have with the lift stations.
Yeah.
With the PDF, there's basically, this is the only one local that sells them that can work on our equipment.
Okay.
So they, yeah.
Just didn't know if it took 12 months to build one.
They've offered for us to go back to the factory. I know one of our mechanics been back there and checked it out. It works on the one we have currently, and he says it's pretty impressive, but I don't know if I'll get to see it or not.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments for Gary? All right. Thank you, sir. A motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance 1403, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute a contract with Owen Equipment of Portland, Oregon for the purchase of one 2014 Vector truck for the Canby Collections Department and declaring emergency.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Councilor Hensley and seconded by Councilor Rocha to approve ordinance number 1403, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute a contract with Owen Equipment of Portland, Oregon for the purchase of one 2014 Vector truck for the Canby Collections Department and declaring an emergency. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 6-0. Thank you all. All right. Next on the agenda is new business, report on Canby Area Transit future parking options. We have...
Hi, Mr. Mayor and councilors. I'm here to talk about the report that's in your packet. It's a fairly lengthy report, so I won't regurgitate the whole thing, but I'll give a little bit of background first. When CAT was first established in 2002, all the buses fit in the lot behind the office on Northwest 2nd. And in about 2006, 35-foot coaches were added to the fleet, and the coaches do not fit in the original lot. So for several years, the city leased parking behind Thriftway just off of 2nd Avenue. And in 2009, when the theater was built, the buses were moved to the city lot along the railroad, directly across from the original CAT lot. Excuse me. Then in 2011, when First Avenue was improved, we started parking the coaches either at the transit center or out at the shops. And right now, the buses are parked in 4 different locations. Only 2 of these locations accommodate the large buses, and none of the locations accommodate all of the vehicles. We've been looking on the lookout, basically, for a larger facility for CAT since about 2008. We took a really big step in October and moved the CAT office to its new location on Hazel Del Way. This move addressed our office space needs, but like I said last year when I was here, it didn't offer a solution to the parking problems. We're currently able to park 4 buses nearby, but we will lose this option as soon as the space next door to our offices is occupied. The new office on Hazel Del Way not only met our obvious need for more space, it also placed us outside the downtown core, south of the railroad tracks, and closer to the city shops and fleet maintenance, near our transit hub at Fred Meyer, near 99, and in South Canby, where we see the most demand for CAT services. Each of these things are a step in the right direction. The report in your packet details the criteria that we used as a guide to evaluate each of the site options. Generally speaking, we were looking for a site that will allow us to have a centralized operation with at least the driver check-in, dispatch, administrative offices, and a secure bus yard, all within walking distance of each other. We also looked at other suitability factors, such as adequate space for the current CAT fleet, room for growth, safety at the entrance or the exit to the yard, traffic flow inside the yard,